cliché as it is to say, it feels like someone took my heart out and replaced it with something much smaller. Your heart wasn't very big to begin with, Azure quipped silently, thinking about how Udin would have laughed at the joke. It was no time to be insensitive, though. They had all lost out with the death of Small Owl. The gift of foresight that he provided when traveling through dangerous territory had been priceless. Maybe this waiting for whatever is to happen next will be a good thing, she said. It will give you time to reflect and regroup yourself. I've already regrouped myself. Now I just want to get this over with. The elf went to sit next to Rudum. Are you sure it's safe to let our guard down? Azure didn't think it wise to abandon caution completely. If they were suddenly set upon by monsters, he wanted to be ready for it. Never, the old knight replied. But I have a feeling that sofa is there for a reason. Keep in mind that this place was designed by Luuq. He glanced around. Nothing would be here without a purpose. Then perhaps we should try sitting on it instead, even if it's in ruins. Princess Adori meant to pick up one of the torn cushions and placed it back on top of the sofa's frame. Well, we know it's not a mimic. Azure went to help her. After they'd fixed the sofa as best they could, he decided to risk being a guinea pig and sat down first. Because the cushion was torn, Azure sank down into it. Otherwise, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It's pretty comfy, he said, bouncing a bit. Princess Adori was next to give it a try, lounging back and staring up at the ceiling. The entirety of it was painted black, but there was the faintest outline of a circle above the sofa. What's that? She asked. Azure followed her gaze. I don't know. Jin was on his feet in an instant. It looks like it might be a way out. Maybe we could find a way up there somehow. He glanced at Azure. The ceiling was 50 feet high. There was no way they could reach it, even if the four of them created a pyramid. Let me try something, Azure offered before standing to cast Summon Familiar. A crow formed from the void, and he commanded it to fly up to the ceiling and pick at the place where the outline was. Try as he might, the crow had little luck. There was nothing for him to cling to, and his efforts were sloppy at best. Even when he made contact with the ceiling, nothing happened. Stand back, Jin instructed, forcing his friends behind him so that he could shoot up at the ceiling with his bow, but his arrow just ricocheted. With a frown, he turned to Azure. Maybe you should cast a spell at it. Rudum was quick to put a stop to that, holding out his hands. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No one is casting any dangerous spells in this small space unless it's absolutely necessary. Azure frowned at the ceiling. I'm with Rudum on this one. My cold breeze spell likely won't have any effect besides potentially putting out the candles, which we definitely don't want, and Volatile Bolt is too unpredictable. If we run completely out of options and things seem desperate, I'll try it, but not until then. Even as he said it, he knew that if the elf commanded him to, he would cast the spell, but Azure really didn't want to, truly believing it would be a mistake. Jin sighed. Fine. The word came out of his mouth clipped. Then we will just wait and see what happens. He made it sound like the very thought was torturous. They all gathered on the broken sectional, sitting in a circle. Azure had hoped that whenever they were all seated, something would happen. By the way the old knight was looking away, Azure suspected that he had thought the same. But nothing happened, and time ticked by as if nothing ever would. After about 30 minutes, the elf's frustration finally came to a head. This is stupid. He stood. Clearly we're meant to do something. Taking long strides, he made his way to one of the corners of the room and knelt. What are you doing? Azure asked, following him with his gaze but not moving from the sofa. I'm tearing up the carpet. There has to be a trapdoor under it or something. He pulled a dagger from his hip and began cutting away at the carpet. And if there's not? Rudum raised an eyebrow at him. Then I'll tear down the wallpaper too. There has to be a way out of here. The elf insisted. The three companions still on the sofa shared a look with one another. Rudum appeared weary from exhaustion at Jin's impatience. Azure and Princess Adori just felt lost, not sure what to do. Azure, some help? Jin twisted to look at him, clearly upset that he was the only one doing anything. Not really feeling like it, but not about to disobey his king. Azure got to work.